Hello, my name is Stephen Mitchell, and here is my case study, Module 11, entitled Every Day Counts. So when we look at this, to summarize this case, we want to establish who, where, and what is going on with this particular case. Right now, we see for the characters, we have Mr. Rhodes, first-year principal. At a high school, we have Dr. Newman, the superintendent. We have key students that are selected that we'll get into here in a little bit. We have Karen, 11th grade student, Tyrone, 10th grade student, Christina, 9th grade student, Carl, 10th grade student, John, 11th grade student, athletic director, teacher, counselors, parents. This is located at Golden Oak High School. And a little bit about what's going on here. Mr. Rhodes is a first-year principal at Golden Oak High School. The school serves nearly 1,000 students and offers a lot of extracurricular activities, including lots of sports. Dr. Newman, the school superintendent, has described to Mr. Rhodes several problems that's going on with the school that's been problematic. The biggest problem is being the school attendance, with a lot of unexcused absences going on there at the school. So Mr. Rhodes needs to investigate reasons for the high rate of absenteeism. So he decides to select 5 out of nearly hundreds of students that have missed at least 10 days of school within the first semester. We have here Karen, one student. She's a junior, have received A's and B's her freshman and sophomore years, but now her absences have increased. We have Tyrone, who was a sophomore. He was in the honors program, but has missed 2 full weeks during the first semester. We have Christina, freshman, has missed at least 4 days in a row in 3 different weeks during the first semester. Carl, who's a sophomore, who has regular classes in the morning, vocational classes in the afternoon, even down to the point a truant officer has visited his home due to decline in attendance. John, who is a junior and a quarterback for the team, who received an injury, is doing physical therapy, so he misses afternoon classes twice a week due to physical therapy, and they allow him to rest on Fridays during football season. So that's a little bit about what is going on here with that. Report any legal or ethical issues. So has anyone been harmed by the action or decision of another? You can make an argument that each one of these students are being harmed emotionally, as well as, more importantly, academically, with their lack of attendance in school. When you have excessive absences, that does contribute to the harm and does the students no good. Does the action or situation contravene an existing law? You begin to violate and infringe upon the law when you have a student who has 7 unexcused absences from school in a row, or 10 unexcused absences from school in 1 year. You will see that each of these 5 selected students, including a truant officer, going to Carl's home. And that is just 5 of the selected students out of the hundreds of students there who have attendance problems within the school. And here, was there a breach of contract? Were the actions discriminatory or constituted harassment? There was a breach of contract by the teachers, who excused the majority of these absences that went against the school policy, most notably of teachers of Tyrone, doing different things with his parents and different trips, with Christina, when doing different things with the church, as well as John as the quarterback of the football team. I believe there's also a breach of contract by the students, where the students know that they have an obligation to attend school, and then with their decline in attendance. Section 3, synthesize. So in this case, we see Mr. Rhodes, first-year principal at Golden Oak High School, where school attendance and absences are the most pressing concerns. With school attendance on the decline, Mr. Rhodes investigates the high rate of absenteeism among 5 selected students who have missed more than 10 days in the first semester. He must proceed forward in handling students with excessive absences and teachers that excuse them. So, some of the facts, some of the people we've listed here earlier, including Mr. Rhodes, Dr. Newman. We have teachers, of course, the selected students, with Karen's parents, Tyrone, his parents, Christina's minister, Carl's parents, truant officer, John, as well as the athletic director. Like we said, this is at Golden Oak High School. Middle income families. There are also a few families sprinkled in there with who may live in poverty, as well as some of the upper middle class as well too. And there's a low turnover rate amongst teachers there at the school, which means teachers are there consistently each and every year, and not too many teachers are being replaced. This is a public high school, 965 students that they serve, 11 team sports, and 31 clubs, so lots of different extracurricular activities to choose from. Review and prioritize the information. So this situation is a conflict that's presented to the principal. Whatever decisions that he makes can have significant impact on the stakeholders. Mr. Rhodes has taken over a school that has a serious attendance problem, where 659 of the 965 students in the school have missed more than 10 days in the first semester. There are some key decisions that he's going to need to make, as well as improve the school culture as a whole. Students with attendance problems, including Karen, Tyrone, Christina, Carl, and John, are being selected, are the selected students, along with teachers and Mr. Rhodes. They all have an important stake in the outcome. Relevant stakeholders have not been consulted as of yet in the manner in which they should be and will be. With this, is there a more generalized or more common reason there's a decline in attendance? If there's any more additional details given by Mr. Rhodes or Dr. Newman, we can learn a little bit more about the situation. And I feel that we know enough information to make some solid decisions here moving forward. Identify options and possible consequences. So option 1, take no action. We can just continue on doing things the way they've currently been happening. Just do nothing. We can look at some of those things, and we'll see there might be some consequences following that, which we'll get into more of the consequences here shortly. Option 2, create an accountability system. Students are responsible for making up missed work in a set number of days, whatever teachers and staff, along with the principal, comes up with. Teachers should hold students accountable for absences and makeup work. Principals, teachers, and staff engage with absentee students and create an atmosphere where students want to attend school. They want to learn. And then we have option 3, create a policy where suspension occurs after 5 unexcused absences and expulsion occurs after 7 unexcused absences. So a little bit of a harsher option there, but it is an option nonetheless. So we have here, we want to evaluate our options. So option 1, of course, take no action, do nothing. Pros with that, staff, they don't have to make any changes. They keep on doing what they're doing. The cons to that, absences will continue. We'll see a continual decline in attendance. Students won't care. Things will likely get worse over time. Option 2, create an accountability system. Pros, students are responsible for missed work. They're accountable for their actions. And just creating an overall positive atmosphere for the school. Cons to that will have potential pushback from students who are going to have to make up missed work, parents who perhaps may be upset that their child or their children are going to have to make up missed work, and teachers for not wanting to put forth that effort. And option 3, create a policy where suspension occurs after 5 unexcused absences and expulsion occurs after 7 unexcused absences. Pros for that: potential for absences to decrease, increase in attendance, possibly put the fear in students to get it together and attend school. Cons to that: students to stop coming all together, students drop out of school. Choose the best option. My decision would be the option 2, create an accountability system. This decision can be implemented with care and attention to the concerns of all stakeholders. I would collaborate with teachers and staff and discuss with them the plans moving forward. Make sure we're all on board and seek additional input. All stakeholders are in the process of being consulted. Run these plans by the superintendent, then consult with teachers and staff, and then we'll be in the process of working with students. And I believe all creative options have been identified. So, implementing your decision. So with the accountability system, number 1 for that, have a meeting with the BLT, the building leadership team, to collaborate on a plan, work together, and basically create a buy-in. Make sure we're all, on the same page that we want to proceed forward. Have a staff meeting to discuss this system plan moving forward, as well as absentee policies for the school and makeup work requirements. Number 3, PLC with the grade level and subject area teachers on relationship building, student engagement, creating an atmosphere where students want to attend school and have some type of investment. Next step in the plan: have a school-wide assembly informing students of the accountability system. Reminder on school attendance policy that will be enforced and the ways they will be engaged at school, and then how teachers will have an investment in them. Excuse me. Next step, we'll have email, a newsletter informing all families of this accountability system with attendance policy and request for them to enforce this at home. We want to make sure we're doing everything we can on the school side, but we also want parents to take accountability for their children's actions and enforce that at home as well. We'll continue to mentor and engage students on a daily basis. And the final step here, continue to, we'll do follow-up emails, phone calls to unexcused absent students. And we think about what may happen. I think about 1 or 2 things. With this plan in place, maybe a huge success, and we'll see a rise in consistent attendance and decrease in absences. Or, all teachers may not be on board and, not enforce absentee policy and makeup work requirements. We want to make sure superintendent knows, all teachers, staff, parents, and students. Plan B, we may have to go back to an original school board policy and look that up on absenteeism, seek advice from fellow teachers, collaborate with them, talk with superintendent, perhaps harsher penalties for unexcused absences leading up to suspension or expulsion. Definitely not a route we want to take. Hopefully with this accountability system, we'll get everybody on board, same page, and we'll definitely see an improvement within attendance for the school. Thank you.